Amit sir, are we live?
Live. Abhishek, it's live. No.
Thank you, sir. Hi, everyone. A very good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this session. We have Mr. Jagdish Chopde, who is a program manager at TCS Interactive. So we extend a very warm welcome and a sincere gratitude for you to be a part of this session. We'll be hosting the session in the first 30 to 40 minutes. Thereafter, in the last 10 to 15 minutes section, we'll open the chat box wherein our participants from Grand Finale Smart India Hackathon can type in their queries and maybe the session can be more interactive. Over to you, sir.
Okay. So, hello everyone. And before starting, let me share my screen. Just give me a sec. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Just hold on. Hold screen. Mm, okay, Abhishek, just give me a sec. Actually, from sharing the screen actually from this Chrome, I need to, enable this particular
Sure.
permission. Just give me a sec.
Sure. Hi everyone. Till the session is being continued by Mr. Jagdish sir. There's an announcement for the time being. This is just to kindly update everyone that we have organized a social media contest for which we'll be sharing the guidelines very soon via email. But for immediate action items, we have some things which I have posted on the chat section. You are requested to use all your social media handles and post regarding the Smart India Hackathon 2024 grand finale, along with the hashtags and the nomenclature mentioned in the chat box. For this, we'll be awarding prizes as well for the ones who have been constantly posting throughout all 3 weeks of the grand finale, and we'll be providing them remuneration as well, just for the prize who have been the best for posting content on social media through all the social media handles. Thank you. We have Mr. Jagdish back. Sir, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. Fine, let's get started. I needed some permission to add quickly. And now let's see if I'm able to share my screen. Hello, Abhishek. Hello, Abhishek. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Sir, we have unmuted you from our side, sir. Our IT
Got
team
it.
has unmuted you. Yeah.
Yes, but you also have to give me sharing permission. Right now, I do
Sir,
not have
sir
share permission.
just a second, sir. We'll request the IT team.
Definitely.
Done, sir, done. Please check.
Okay. Yeah. Now it is there.
Thank you, Amit, sir.
Okay, I think now you should be able to see my screen. Let me know.
Yes, sir. We can see the text, sir. Yeah.
Fine. Let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm Jagdish Chopde. You can call me, I have been, more than 12 years of experience and, played multiple roles as a design lead, as a technical project manager, as a UI UX architect, and also have expertise on both the sides. So rest of the guys can go on mute. So I have equal expertise on the design side and on the development side too, on the UI development. And in this session, we will explore more about the UI UX designing. Okay, so we'll start with the tech. So Abhishek, just confirm if you're able to see my slides, UI UX designing.
Yes, sir.
Figma
So we
training.
can see the text, sir.
Got it. Fine. So let's explore. Let's start. So here I will give you introduction about UI UX designing and what all the terminologies is there when we design for the corporate applications. And apart from that, I will give you the introduction about Figma, and we will get our hands dirty in the Figma, and I will give you what all the tools and what all the layouts and everything are there in the Figma and how powerful it is. So let's begin. So in corporate world, when we talk about delivery, we generally work towards creating softwares. Okay. And if we take any example of typical software, it is generally divided into three parts: front end, back end, and database. Now here, our session will be more focused on the front end side. Now, front end, which controls our presentation logic, back end, which controls the business logic, what kind of a functionality, everything will be there. And then the database, which controls our data and operations, the back end related operations. Now, let's explore the front end because our focus here on the front end. Now, front end, or we also call as a user interface. Now, what all is there? When we talk about any front end or UI, it is divided into two things. That means, whenever we are supposed, developing, where, we are creating any application, any software for any particular product or company. Now, whenever we start with that, the first process is there of the front end or UI. Okay. Then comes the back end, then comes the database. Now, suppose we have the responsibility to develop or design the front end or UI of the application. Then, in that, two things happens. First is UI designing. Another one is UI development. Now, first thing is UI designing. That means we have to design what kind of application we will be going to create or develop. That all things comes into the designing. Then later on, once the designs are ready, then we hand over those designs to the development team, UI development team, and then UI development team starts with the development. Now again, if we talk about UI designing, let's explore what all there in the UI designing process. Now, UI designing again divided into two sections. Whenever suppose we are designing any product, any application, like let's say suppose one mobile application or any website, then again designing divided into two sections. First one is UX and another one is UI. Now, while designing any application, first we have to work on the UX. Once UX is done, then we move towards UI. Now let's understand what is the difference between UX and UI. Now, UX, that means user experience. It defines what kind of a experience your application will going to provide to your user. Now here on the left hand side, on the slide, you can see, say suppose we are designing for one one mobile application. Okay, any e-commerce application or a travel booking application or hotel booking application, any similar application. Suppose we want to design it, then first of all we need to work on the UX, that is user experience. Now what happens in that, our focus is not on the look and feel, colors and all those things and on visual things. Our focus, first of all, we define what kind of experience our application will going to give. That means what will be the pages, what kind of a layouts will be there. Now here in this example, while defining the UX of this page, is like suppose one travel booking page, there that particular person decided to provide this kind of a UX. It's like at the top it will have introductory video with the title, some description, some product images of that particular hotel, and then the book now button, right? So we define this particular UX, that we called as a UX. Okay, user experience. Then once that is done, then we move towards the UI, that means user interface. Here in the user interface, we are done with our UX. We created what all pages will be there, what kind of a page will have what kind of a layout and structure, and our overall information architecture is ready. That first of all this kind of a process we will follow, or this kind of a experience we will going to provide to our user. It's like initially we will have sign in sign up process, then our homepage will appear, then what all the pages will be there for describing our product information, then suppose the checkout and order and all those related pages. Suppose we are considering any e-commerce application. Now that particular UX and information architecture, UX, user experience side. Now once that is done, then we move towards the user interface, that is UI. In that, we take each and every page and then we add all the visual elements. It's like suppose this is the same example where we have added what kind of a image, what kind of theme color, and what will be the actual content, and our element, look and feel of our element, what kind of elements we will going to have. Will be using any particular design system for that, or we will be creating our own. That all final touch up finishing and the visual things comes into user interface. Now moving towards, this is the difference between UX and UI, that means user experience and user interface. And people generally get confused between this. So this is the difference actually, and there is a difference, there is a considerable difference. Now if you are planning to build your career in a designing, then you need to keep these things in mind. You should be clear about what is the difference between UI and UX. Now when we talk about the profile, suppose going forward you want to be a designer. Generally the person can be a UX designer or can be specialized in a UI designer, both independently. Okay, suppose a person who is not good with the visual side, colors and images and all those things, suppose he has a good UX skills and he's good in defining applications, then that particular person goes with the UX profile. and one is not good with all the architectural things or defining processes and applications and everything. He's only good with the UI side. He's good with the color combination, choosing the images, choosing the layout elements and everything. Then that particular generally goes towards the UI designing side. Or a person who is having equal expertise in both the areas can be can go towards the UI UX designer. Okay, so there are these different profiles are available there in the market, and you should be clear about these profiles in order to pick your career in that. Okay, now moving towards the next one, that is what all the tools and technologies are available in the market. Okay, now you got clear on the concept, like what exactly is the UX and what exactly is the UI, and you know what roles and responsibility that particular profile will have. Now, in order to get your skill sets ready or to become a designer, you should have, along with the functional requirement and the theoretical knowledge and the conceptual knowledge, you should also have a skill set on the respective tools and technologies. Okay, now let's see what are the design tools are available in the market for to which are famous for UI UX designing. So the leading tool right now is Figma. Okay. Uh, Previous to couple of years, the leading tool was Adobe XD. Sketch is also really a good tool, InVision and all. But right now, Figma is leading the market. Okay, and because it offers very powerful features, and apart from that, one good point is it is also free. Okay, most of the usable features in the Figma are free. Okay, and only some of the advanced level feature or organizational related features are packed into the professional plan, paid plan. But it is easy to learn Figma because that is free, and most of the features to practice are available in the free tier. The disadvantage in the Adobe XD is like Adobe XD is one particular tool from the Adobe pack. Okay, Creative Cloud. So of course that is not a free. You need to have a Adobe Creative Cloud license for in all apps or individual apps. Another thing is there are traditional applications who are into Adobe XD, and lots of organizations are still using because their old applications are still designed into Adobe XD and their work is going on. But let me clarify here, Adobe XD, Adobe is ending the support for Adobe XD, and right now if you plan to go for a new license, it is generally not available. They are only supporting the maintenance of existing application. So that is also thing to remember. But if you are would like to start, Figma is the best tool to start with. Moving ahead, we will also discuss few of the tools and technologies are available for graphics designing and photo editing. Okay, so suppose apart from UI UX designing, it is good to have some graphic designing and photo editing tools. Again, UI UX designing, graphics designing and photo editing tools are two different profiles. Okay, and it is not compulsory to have knowledge of these technologies, these tools also along with the Figma or UI UX designing, but it is good to have. Okay, it's like Adobe Illustrator right now is the leading tool for graphics designing. It's like suppose you want to make any logos, any graphics, illustrations and all. So Adobe Illustrator is the best tool in the market. Adobe Photoshop, I don't need to explain what it is, but all photo related magic you want to do or editing you want to do, Photoshop is the best tool in the market. Okay, and Canva is actually we can call a basic tool for photo editing. As see, Illustrator and Photoshop, these are the Adobe products, so of course these are not free. You need to purchase the license in order to use it. But there are, suppose you need to do some minor photo editing work, so for that Figma is the free tool available in the market, so that's why I listed here. Okay, now along with the UI UX designing, if you also know Adobe Illustrator, then it will going to help you to create your own logos, a little bit small illustrations and everything whenever required. It is again not compulsory. And again, Photoshop knowledge will going to help you if while designing, if you got any images and you want to tweak those images, you want to update those images, suppose want to remove its background, want to modify those images a bit, then having Photoshop skill will going to help you. So these are the good to have skill towards the UI UX designing. Now moving towards the next one, we will get into the Figma. So Figma UX designing tool, and let's have an introduction of it. So that is all about the theoretical part. Now we will directly go into Figma. Now here, my Figma is open. Okay, so Figma is available in both the versions. It's like you can access it directly from the browser. You don't need to install anything, and the installable version is also available for Windows and Mac. Okay, but the application under the hood is same. There is no much difference in the features. It's not like in the browser you will get limited features, and in the installable version you will get more feature. Under the hood they have, it is totally identical application. So if you do not have it installed on your machine, then it is absolutely okay to use it in a browser. Now this is the kind of a look you will going to get once you open Figma. At the top you will see these couple of options. We will start with the design file. Okay, so on the left hand side you just go in the draft. Okay, so draft is like all your temporary files or your workspace, that is called as a graphs. Here at the bottom you will see more teams and projects and everything. Whenever you are working on organizational projects, then then we need to create a team, then sub projects inside that all structures can be created. But suppose you want to try out or something, and you want it to keep private to yourself in your space. So for that you just have to go into draft, and on the right hand side you will get this option here. Inside that you have this design file option. Just click on the design file, and this is the initial page you will going to get it. Now by default, generally you might get a white theme. If it is white theme, then everything will be white, and you can switch it to the dark theme from the settings. So on the left hand side you will see all these settings and everything here, and you can explore those, but I will give you a general idea about it. So here on the left hand side you will see these files and pages and everything, layers. We will explore that. And on the right hand side you will see all these properties panel. At the bottom we have all these tools. So these tools we will going to explain, I will going to explain you one by one. Right now we are at the move tool. That is our pointer tool. Okay, so any selection tool, we can say anything we want to select, then this is the tool for that. Now let's explore, let's go into our deck and let's see what all rest of the features we have to start with. So again, Figma UX designing tool. Let's go into the one. So so this is a complete deck where I create a complete designing application, e-commerce application, and through that I teach all the designings and all. This is a really long course, but we will start with the basic topics. So first of all, it's like creating low fidelity design, of course, because whenever suppose we are creating any designs, then initially we start with the low fidelity designs. And inside that, first things we will going to explore is frames. So let's see what are frames. So here we are at the move tools, and we can select anything. Now suppose I want to design one e-commerce application, okay, which will be having suppose 3 to 5 pages for the mobile or for the desktop. Now here at the bottom, the second tool here is frame. Shortcut key is F. Once you click on that, and here you can draw a frame. Okay, just like this. Once you draw this, on the left hand side in the layers, you will see, okay, one particular frame is there on your page, and whatever element is selected on the right hand side, you will see all the properties of that particular element. Now what exactly is frame? Frame, we can say this is a basic building block of Figma. Okay, so which we can say all the pages or inner elements or anything we create, those for creating all those things we generally use frames. If you know any Adobe products, in that the artboards are there. Okay, so those artboards in Figma, they call as a frame. Now here I dragged and created one frame, but let me again select a frame here. And once I select it, on the right hand side, you will see this frame and all those ready-made options here. So suppose I want to create for phone or tablet or desktop or anything, then here are all the ready-made presets are available. Okay, so in the phone, suppose you want to create for Android, for iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Pro, iPhone 14, 15, or anything. So these are the particular resolution or the sizes of that particular phone device. So suppose I want to create for iPhone 16. So I will click on this and it will automatically create this particular frame for iPhone 16. I can start designing in that. Now suppose again I will deselect it and I will go into frame again, clicking on this. This is the symbol of frame. And along with frame, suppose I want to create for desktop. So I will open the desktop and here, suppose I want to create for iPhone 16, MacBook Pro 16-inch. Once I click on that, it will give me the frame for that particular device. Okay, and I can start designing for that. Now here, this is a selection tool. Along with that, suppose you want to move this. So, vertical scrolling will going to move it vertically. And suppose you want to move it horizontally. So you just have to hold shift and then scroll. Then it will going to move it horizontally. Okay. And so there is another very shortcut way to move your canvas is you just have to hold space. Once you hold the space, your that particular mouse pointer will turn into hand, and then you just have to click it and you can move it. Okay, so in this way you can move in between your canvas. Now we will again, for the zoom in and zoom out, you just have to hold control on the Windows or command on the Mac and just have to use your scroll bar. Okay, and that will going to give you the zoom in and zoom out functionalities. Now apart from that, let's see another tools here. So on the second thing, you will see there are shape tools. It's like rectangle, line, arrow, ellipse, polygon, star, and all those things. So suppose I want to create a rectangle, I can quickly create a rectangle here. Okay, again select a rectangle here and I'm drawing some rectangle, but suppose I want a perfect square. Then if I'm holding a shift, then it will going to give me a perfect square. Okay, so in this way we can quickly create a shape. And suppose I want to create ellipse, so here I'm creating ellipse, or suppose I want a complete circle, then again if I'm holding shift, then it will going to create me a complete circle. Now in the similar way we can create all those other tools or shapes from here. Okay, now second thing, suppose I want to give a color to this. So select any shape. Suppose I want to give color to this particular rectangle. Then select it. On the right hand side, you will see a section called fill. Okay, and here by default it is having this particular gray color. You can click on this color picker and you can choose any color from this color picker. Okay, and that particular color will get applied to that particular element. Okay, whichever it is, and the respective hex code will going to appear here. Now another thing is, suppose I want to give image to this particular field. Then again, if I'm clicking on this, here at the top you will see this image icon. Once you click on this, then it will give you an opportunity to select an image from your panel. So let's select any image from here. Okay, so let me suppose select this image. Okay, so that particular image will going to appear here in that particular shape. So it doesn't matter which shape. Suppose you want the image in this star, then you have to follow the same process and that particular image will get added in the shape. Okay, so these are the tools, these are the shape tools. Then the advanced tools are there, but let's see how to add text. So for adding a text, there is a separate tool called text. Shortcut key is T. and click on this, and then just click on the canvas and start typing. Okay, and click outside, and you can move this particular text. Now suppose I want to change the font sizes and everything, then select this particular text, and on the right hand side in the typography section you will see all the other options, like suppose changing the font, changing the sizes and all. I want to suppose choose any another font here and want to make it bold or regular. So the other options are depend actually as per the font. Okay, so this particular font is not having any another options. So suppose you're choosing another, again this is also not having the one. Okay, so here you can set the select is medium, semi bold, bold, and as per that all those particular options will get applied. Okay, and here suppose you want to change the color of this font too, then click on this, and the color from the color picker you can choose any font. Okay, now another thing, a very shortcut one is, suppose you want to make a copy of this, then you can select it and then use Control C, Control V. After doing that, in the layers panel you will see there is a copy got created. But in Figma, whenever you create a copy of any element, once you paste it, that particular copy will get pasted on the exact same location on that element only. So here, if you drag this element out, then you will see this copy. Okay, and you can change the name. Just double click on this, and then you can change the name. You can change the text. Another way, suppose I want to make a copy of this or any element. Suppose I want to make a copy of this particular circle. Then you can hold the Option or Alt button on your keyboard, and then once you hold it, your arrow will change to the double arrow, and you just have to drag, and it will create a copy for you. Okay, in this way you can make a copy of any element, and you just have to design in the same way all the pages and everything. So this was the introduction of Figma, and there is a lot to cover actually, but yeah, this is actually a basic thing to start with. Now we will take a pause here, and we'll see if anyone has any questions. So Abhishek, over to you. We can address questions.
Sure. As of now, we don't have any questions posted on the chat. I would request all the grand finale participants to post their queries in the specific domain of UI UX, for which we have our expert speaker, Mr. Jagdish here. If you have any queries in that regards, you can kindly post it on the chat box. Else, we can proceed further with the session, sir.
Okay, so I'm seeing one good question from Mohammed, like good practice or bad practice. If made a design for our website, but the developed website will little different than the design UI. So that actually, very general scenario is like the designers, especially UI UX designers, have this advanced tools like Figma, and they are very creative. So while designing, they go out of the box and they design really beautiful structures, pages, elements, UI widgets, and everything. Now, when they are done, they got a sign off from customer, and now they hand over those designs to developers. Then there might be scenarios, or it generally happens always, that those developers not able to make or replicate exact designs into the developed pages or developed code. So this kind of scenario happens. But again, there are few things to remember while designing. So suppose you are UI UX designer of any particular product. Suppose you are designing any Google product or any iPhone product or a respective product, which from the Android or iPhone. So before starting your designing, you have to first check with the respective stakeholders, your architects and everyone from the team, like what will be your final output, what kind of a platform they will going to develop this application, because of course your designings finally will go to the developer team, and they will going to make it the final usable product. So you have to cross check what kind of libraries and everything, UI libraries they will going to use. So suppose during the conclusion you came out like they will be using respective React or Angular technology, and they will be using the Material UI. Okay, and while designing you are creating random elements like matching the iPhone designs or any other designs, or creating your own widgets and everything. And when you are handing over those particular designs to the development team, and those have the limitation to use only the Material UI library, or the controls from that particular library, then this particular problem happens. You have to first of all cross check like what kind of a libraries, UI libraries, development team will going to use. So suppose they confirm like they will be using Material library, or suppose iPhone library, iPhone designing library. So you have to go through all that library and have to check what kind of a controls are available in that library, which will be available for the developers to use. And you have to use those controls or those kind of a design styles, theme, everything, so that whenever your designs, when you have an handover to the developer, then there will be a less changes of differentiation between the designs and the developed product. So moreover, if anyone looking to start their career journey as a UI UX designer and want to learn Figma more, then they can explore some of more Figma features. And I can name you few of the features which you should learn in order to get hands on the Figma. You can note it down, or I can write it in the chat. So the main Figma features you should learn. First is frames. You should know frames very well. Then all the next is auto layout. Auto layout is really powerful feature. Then you should know about components. What are components? Then the component properties, variants, component properties, etc. Then you should know about prototyping. Okay. Then what next? You should know about variables. So variables are also, really, before even variables, you should know about styles. Okay. After styles, variables are really powerful feature. Then exporting from Figma and sharing the prototype with respective stakeholders and clients. Then you should also know dev mode. So dev mode is a really good feature which help you to share your designs with the development team, and they can take all the specification, assets, logos, and everything from that dev mode, Figma dev mode only, and you don't need to sit with the developers all along. What else then? Then you have to create your case studies. Okay. Try creating a complete application with the case studies and all, and then upload it on Behance and to create your profile. So along with that, let me also give you my profile website link here. Okay, so you can go through my profile website and especially go into the projects, and you will see lots of projects, demo projects created. You can explore those. uh, few of the designing projects only created in Figma and respective tools, few of the developed application where those are designed plus developed in lots of different technologies, like for the mobile and web, in different technologies like Android, iOS, for also web in Angular, React, .NET, JavaScript. Ionic is also really good technologies there. Okay, so we have 3 minutes left. If anyone has any questions, they can drop in the chat. Okay, so I guess no questions. Abhishek, over to you.
Sure, sir. So thanks a lot for answering all the queries being posted on the chat box. I would like to mention that it has really been an insightful and a great session. And our sincere thanks for you to be a part of this session and enlightening our grand finale participants of Smart India Hackathon 2024 on the specific domain under UI UX. So we would hereby like to conclude the session. Thanks a lot, all the participants, for attending this. We have a lineup scheduled for this week, for which we'll be having expert speakers from esteemed organizations such as TCS. We would request you to be available and attend all these sessions. These are really insightful sessions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.